I'm going to start sharing my screen.
Uh, yeah. Proceed.
Okay, we're proceeding. Hello, good morning. Welcome to VGA's session on learning. Today's topic is effective writing with Google Docs. I'll give you a brief preamble. Today, I'll be joined by a cross section of the students who are in intermediate and the students who are pursuing engineering and also CA. And in addition, we also have working a senior member of our VGA, Hari, as well. So I will have them introduce as the time comes. Uh, uh, Firstly, I'll describe why exactly we are doing what VGA is, etc. As you know, VGA is Visionary Gurukul Alumni. It is started by the alumni of Gurukul institutions of both the states, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Historically, these institutions have been at the forefront of educational transformations in the state. And of late, as the private education has been taking up, these schools have went bit back, but still the spirit of innovation is there. We, the alumni group, have started this group so that is we can work across the schools to bring them up to the previous standards and to retool them for the modern times and all through extracurricular learning. Considering the COVID and the impact it is having on the students who are not from well-to-do families, we started this series. Every fortnight, we have a topic either on education or on career guidance or on life lessons. Typically, that we invite people from alumni usually, but from different walks of life, different experts to come and give the talks. And recently, one of the often requested things was the basic computer literacy. Interestingly, this request has come from not from the students, but from the educationists and senior leaders. The students themselves think they know everything because obviously they can use WhatsApp, they can use whatever, Facebook, whatever. So they think they know it. But the fact is there is a good discipline of writing that is they try to teach us in school how to write for different kind of audience, essay writing, answer writing, everything that is, if you realize it, other than this bit mark questions and other than this multiple choice questions, everything involves writing, explaining to others. And that could be one paragraph, that could be 288 characters, or that could be like a few pages, and it could be a book, it could be anything. And writing happens to be one of the most effective ways we can communicate with others, and we are going to focus on that. I don't want to focus on mostly on the writing alone, but I want to do it in the context of using Google Docs. That means I'm going to introduce a tool. We were having a conversation. I know most of the people in the country use Microsoft Word, etc., usually a pirated version. And I'm not much into piracy. I don't want to encourage that. And I want to show you how using free tool like Google Docs, and incidentally Microsoft Office 365 for personal use also is free. But nevertheless, I'm going to focus on this Google Docs because it has, within the US, it has gotten great traction among the high schools and also colleges. And as one of our colleagues has been saying, it is excellent for collaboration, especially if you want to show to somebody else, if they want to edit it. Today, when people ask me to edit their documents, and it could be technical document from my colleagues, or it could be essays from some of the leading lights, or the literary essays, or even the college essays. And I generally prefer to use Google Docs because I'll tell you the reasons later. So I have prepared a presentation. This is how it is going to happen. I prepared a presentation. I will go through the presentation, explain the theory, and in between, around 6 to 7 times, I will pause and I will do some activity along with the students that we have here. And so what my suggestion is, if you could follow along, you watch, you try to do it, and it's fairly simple. And if you have a computer, it's very, very easy. If you have a cell phone, even then you can do it, but it may be a bit difficult. I advise you at the time, if it is difficult, just watch it and go and try to do it by yourself. We will be covering how, if you already have some text, how to put in Google Docs, what are the benefits, how to format it, how to share it, etc. And also how to start writing with it and various kinds of writing. And our students have brought their samples of writing, and we will take that and put into Google Docs and refine it. And there seem to be some questions, etc. And if there are any questions, that is, Hari, you can watch out and you can alert me, because I won't have time to actually look at the questions by myself. Okay, you can be surrogate, Hari or Ravindra. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, firstly, who am I? My name is Rama Kanaganti. I've been associated with VGA from the beginning. And most importantly, that is, I have been a Google Docs user for the last 7 years, maybe even longer. I don't remember. And in the when it was in the beta phase itself, but some of my colleagues who were at Google, they alerted me, they wanted me to try it out. I tried it out, and even though I felt that it is technically inferior, I could see the potential of it, and it is actually a big game changer in the way that I write and share the documents. And as far as the documents goes, I've been writing documents for several decades. Even though I have a PhD in computer science, I do research, I do coding and everything. My job in the corporate sector is mostly about writing. People ask me, what exactly do you use in your education? Whatever you learned, I always say three things: reading, writing, and math. These are the only three things I use. I may have done PhD in programming language, whatever it is, and predominantly it turns out that is I need to write documents recommending, how the company can spend next $10 million, or I need to edit a document where I take a recommendation that to spend next $10 million and say how I can edit it so that it convinces the right leaders. So when I talk to all my friends, that is, who are in the top positions, I come away with the feeling this is exactly what everybody does, right? And it can be academic field, technical field, marketing field, and non-fiction field, including even the college applications. And I think that is the schools are not putting enough emphasis on writing because they don't know how much important it is. And when they go to do a job, they always say, people tell me that I don't have communication skills. And they generally, they're also focused on the speaking, but what they don't understand is the writing is equally important, if not more important, precisely because you can, a presentation or speaking is just only momentary. And usually you need to prepare reports, usually you need to make presentations, usually you need to send out documents. And often that is depending on the strength of your documents, you are chosen for the next assignments, etc. So it is exceedingly important. Okay. So who is this talk for? I'm assuming you have a tablet or a computer, or apparently you guys can write, tens of pages on a cell phone also. So that also works. Second thing is you write documents. When I use the word document, I use it very loosely. It can be report, it can be an essay, it can be resume, it can be, anything, a letter home, it is anything, right? And oftentimes you write for others, but there is a very, very important category. People who are really good, they know that they do write to explain to themselves. That is, if you don't know, if you have an idea that it is bugging you, you don't think you understand it well, try writing it. It clarifies to you. Because if you don't understand it, it's difficult for you to write it. And the process of putting it on paper or the computer, it actually questions you, and then you go and read it, then you will understand it. So a way of clarifying it, understanding it, and clarifying it, explain to yourself what you learn is actually also you can use writing. And I think most people don't use it, but most successful people always do. One of my teachers used to say, if I don't understand something, I write a book about it. That means in the process of writing the book, he has to understand it. That's a way forcing himself. It also questions instead of leaving it at a high level. Oh, I don't know what I don't know. Here, you know exactly what you don't know. Then you go and do the research, and then you do that. So that is the that's what you do. So who is this talk not for? That is, where does it actually fail? That kind of thing. That okay. I would basically say that is, if you're not good with computers or not well versed with the computers and you find it a really difficult thing, you got to get over that a bit, because most of the techniques, and while on paper also they work, I cannot imagine today, these days, writing it on entirely a large essay on paper and editing it. Obviously, everybody has done it. All of those people have done it. But today, the pace is different, the purpose is different, etc. Therefore, uh, I say that is a requirement. And secondly, I'm not focused on fiction writing. That's a different topic. If you are writing a next great Indian novel, I'm not going to tell you how to. That's not the main purpose. Okay. So instead, I'm going to focus mostly on non-fiction writing. That means the kind of writing that which you have in your schools, in your colleges, in your job, or an opinion piece, or on Facebook writing, any of these kind of things that it generally works well. Okay. And Ravi, does this sound okay? And Anusha, Ravi, Anusha, and
Yes.
Kirtana, right?
Yes.
Does that sound okay?
Yes.
Any questions? You have to be the surrogate. That is, you have to watch out the questions that people are asking, and you have to ask me the questions.
Yes, sir.
Any questions? Are people asking any questions so far, or no questions?
So far regarding sound, no specific questions.
Okay. So what do we cover? We're going to cover first the mechanics of Google Docs, and also how do we start writing. And we will show you some samples that our students got, and we transform the writing. And a transformation by means that it is formatting and making sure that it looks good, and the basics of writing, that getting the grammar correct, and all the how do you do it automatically. Then how do we collaborate it, and we'll conclude it by some advanced formatting and technique. And I'm going to use this to segue into a few other things. Some of the basics of writing in terms of, for example, how do you structure a paragraph? How do you structure an essay? Some of those kind of things that I'm going to touch upon. Okay. So that is, and here is the thing. This course is, I'm going to do it entirely in English, and I'd assume that it is the prerequisite. And I'm not going to, usually we do it in Telugu and English, but this is going to be only in English. I'm not using very high funda words. I'm speaking very slowly and very methodically. Therefore, you should be able to follow it. And as always, it is broadcast over YouTube. So you could go back to YouTube and you could watch it. And you can't even complain with my accent. My accent is a thick Telugu accent, so you shouldn't have any problem. Second is, as I said, you need a computer tablet. And some brave souls can use the mobile also. I think they can, but I can't. But I'm sure that there are people that can do everything what I'm doing on the mobile phone also. I'm not going to focus on writing essays separately, and that will be later. We will do on a focus session only on writing later. Current focus is using Google Docs. Okay. First, let me ask the question. Now, a little bit of interaction. So, how do you write your documents? When I ask, these are the questions that I got. And feel free to type in answers that if you like you write it pen and paper, the age-old answer. Or if you're using computer, notepad, wordpad, or those people that have a paid version or pirated version of Microsoft Office, use Microsoft Office, right? How do you write your documents? Okay. Ravi?
Yes, Anna.
How do you write your documents?
I write for audits in Word document.
Okay. Okay. For audits, the mostly what happens is the company standards might be different. Therefore, they will prescribe exactly how to write it. Right?
Yeah.
Often you may not have choice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anusha, how do you write your document? documents? Anusha, you're on mute. Sai, somebody, that is, if you want to ask a question, just go ahead and type it and I'll respond. Okay.
Good evening, sir.
How do you write your documents when you have to write documents?
Using WordPad, sir.
Okay. See, these are the things that come naturally with the standard on the computer. Okay, that is not a problem. You should use it. And the problem is, how do you share with others? If you are using Microsoft Word, Ravi, usually what do? You mail it to them, right?
Yeah, we mail it. We mail it.
After mailing it, suppose you realize, oops, I didn't enter a number. What do you do?
So I'll change it. Then I'll send updated version.
It's an updated version. And do you know what used to happen in this model? I used to go to this large high-end presentations where the deal worth is like $200, $300 million. And the last day, each word is very, very, very carefully they see. And the last day you would end up having 20, 30 versions of your email. In the end, you don't know which version you are looking at, what you are looking at, who is making what change. You have no clue.
Yes, sir. It happens
Right?
with our case also in audit. So many versions will be there.
Exactly.
Every time when we get, we'll be saving with version number, that file.
Yes, that's right. So V31, V31-RK, V31-XYZ, V42, V42 is better, V31- something is better. No clue. Right?
Yeah.
So sharing, simply put, if you want to work with anybody else, no. Second is, that is at least collaboration. Even if there is no collaboration, suppose you want to share with your friends, you wrote a document, you want to share with your friends. How do you do it? You have Microsoft Word. If you want to send it over WhatsApp, what would you do? Suppose it's a large document. How will you attach a large document, assuming that they can read it, etc., or how do you do it? Or you can take a photo, a snap of a photo of this one and on WhatsApp, and you can send a photo directly, right?
Yes, I prefer to send photo.
All of these things again are problematic, right? Firstly, that is, the thing is, after sending it, if you want to update, you're doomed. You don't have the updated version. You only sent some mistaken version. All these challenges happen.
Yes.
And the very other interesting thing is, you shared with somebody. You actually are writing it in your home document. You have Word and you wrote it in, and you took on a vacation or you went somewhere else. You don't have your laptop with you, and you suddenly realize you want to edit that. How do you edit your document? It's at home.
I cannot edit it at home. It's in the system.
Right. So usually what you do is you send a mail to yourself so that it's there. You again, too much of a problem. It is not, there is no good solution for this. Of course, you can put it in the cloud, but if you got that much the discipline of putting things in the cloud and editing in the cloud, you would be doing a lot of other things. But predominantly, this is what you do. Right. So this is what we want. We want to be able to access your document to any machine, anywhere. You don't even want to save it. You are typing it. Suddenly, your mom calls you, you want to leave and you actually get onto the bus and go to college. And while in the college, suddenly, the bus stopped and you have 1 hour free time. You don't know what to do. You have a cell phone. You can open up your cell phone and start typing it. Imagine that is no difference between what you're doing at home or on the road. That's what you want. Second is that is you can share with your friends. Not just only that is you can let them comment on it. Basically, I don't like this line. Hey, why don't you edit this line or mark it up appropriately? That is the kind of thing that you want to do, and you want to be able to not bother about versions, not bother about storage. You don't want to do anything, and you want to send by email, print, and you want to simply keeping it forever. This is what I mean. I actually can go to the ones that I wrote on pen and paper. Most of them lost after 1986. I don't have anything usually. But the things that I wrote on the computer since 1994, I have all of the things that I wrote on the computer because I keep them with me and I put them in the cloud. So they're accessible at a fingerprint tip. I can search for what I said in 1994 and I see how exactly I changed my perspective. All of that is available. And I don't even pay for anything. It's all free. So now you understand what it means to be good and what exactly we want. Let's go to the next one. Okay. So what we want is we want to be able to keep it in the cloud, keep it online so that it is available everywhere, every place, etc. There are two choices today. There are multiple choices, mind you. I'm giving you two big ones. For example, India-based player called Zoho also is an excellent choice. But for various reasons, in fact, a classmate of mine actually started Zoho. I should be plugging it, but the fact is that these are the two big behemoths. They spend way too much money, and it's always available, and it's really fast and all of that. So drive.google.com, that's one choice. That's a Google Docs. That's what I will be talking. OneDrive.live.com, that's a Microsoft version. That's also equally good, but it's online only. Don't download it and use it on your virus-laden my total local pirated copy of Microsoft, but online free version. While both are similar, Google is better party, third-party plugins and online native. For example, I can do typing in Telugu. I'll show you a demo of it, how you can use Google Docs to type in Telugu very, very easily. Okay. And what are the caveats? What are the negatives? You have to be connected to edit the document. Not really. You can do offline editing also, but there is some preparation that you need. That means if you mark some document as saying that is you want it to be available offline, that means on that machine where that is offline, you actually can edit it. So for example, that is you're working at home, you are not sure of power situation or internet situation. You say, I want to do it in offline, and then you can work in that. Whenever internet comes, it immediately syncs into the thing. So that is what you can, that's what you can do. There are some caveats with that, but nevertheless, it largely works. Second is, these are not professional tools. While I know people who have written books with Google Docs, it takes some amount of effort to get a professional quality output. Okay. So that is it. And of course, as I said, they are free and storage is free. Okay. With that, let's go to the first demo. First demo, Anusha or Kirtana, one of the two people. Kirtana? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So you're online, right?
I am Anusha, sir.
Anusha. And who is it? And one more person, student we have?
Kirtana, sir.
Where is Kirtana?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Speak up. So you have your computer, right? Would you be able to share it? Share the screen. I'm going to stop sharing the screen.
Okay, sir.
Share the screen. And do you have a Gmail account?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go to drive.google.com. Go to Google Chrome. Go to Google Chrome. You have it in the bottom. Go to Google Chrome. Yes. Go to drive.google.com. Go to Google Chrome and there type go visit the site drive.google.com. .com. Okay. So you get around five yeah, say new Google Docs. Okay. Okay. What you have shown is this is a blank template. There is no template here. It is basically a new template. Go to your notepad. Select all of that. Copy. and come here, Control C, and come here, Control V, paste it. Okay, so because you pasted from the beginning, it is like that. And now, so this is it. You have a Google document, and there is an untitled document. It says, right, give a title, whatever you want to, in celebration of being alive. Don't put the quotes, but without the quotes, put the there is a top right hand side. No, look at the top, go above. That is above file. It says untitled document.
Top left.
Top left. Yes.
Yes, sir.
That's it. But remove the quotes. You don't want the quotes. In the beginning also.
Yes, sir.
That's it. Enter. Okay, done. This is as simple as that. So what did we do? What's the big deal, right? We will show you as we go through forward what is the big deal about it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Firstly, that is, let us, what you did is you only cut and paste into this template, right? I mean,
Yes, sir.
this is a basic template is what you used, okay? Or you did not use any advanced template. I will show you how to use the advanced template because I have set some advanced templates. And now, few things that what we want to do. How do you make sure this is slightly better looking? Firstly, choose the in celebration of being alive and make it into title instead of normal text. Making it to select that line and not the bold. No, don't bold. No, nothing, no bold. And see next to 100%, it says normal text. Don't do bold, don't do italics, none of the stuff. You are never permitted to do that. Instead of Arial, next to Arial, there is a normal text, right? Look at the normal text. No, not that. That is coming from the left on the same thing. Yes, normal text. Choose the title. Done. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And that is how you basically, and of course, you might say that this title is too large. Yes, of course, it's too large. That's because you didn't choose a template properly. If you were to choose a template, that would come out automatically. So get rid of the empty space on top of it. You don't want that. Not that. That is above this one. So what I'm going to show is that is now you created this document. Okay. You want to share with me so that I can edit it. Now go there and try look at share
Yes, sir.
and share with me ramarav@gmail.com. Yes. Okay. That's it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Enter. Okay. So that means that you shared with me. Now I'm going to show you how it would look for me. Okay. I'm going to share my screen now. And so it will stop showing your screen. Okay. Let's go here. Sorry. I go to drive.google.com. That's more modern interface. One second. So it will come in my mail. Usually if somebody shares it, it will come in my mail. What I'll do is I'll stop sharing for a bit. I don't know. I don't. And one second. So it looks like a lot of people are trying to share their screen. Can you?
Hello.
Hello.
Kishan,
Looks like
మీరు స్క్రీన్ షేర్ చేయండి.
చేస్తాను. I'm looking at her email. I have a very strong spam filters, so
Okay.
that's why I kind of realized that it's. So can you send me the link? Cut and paste the link once in the Google chat or chat to me.
చాట్లో పెట్టి.
So are you able to do that? Hello?
లేకపోతే రవీంద్ర మీరు ఏం చేయగలరు చూడండి.
Anna? Hello.
అంటే తను.
Yes, Anna, I can do it. I can share.
Right. Kitna is able to share it with me. One second. Because of security kind of things like that, it is actually becoming more difficult than actually it is usually. And
రమ పద్మజ గారని మీకు హలో చెప్తున్నారు.
yes. Hello.
అన్మ్యూట్ చేయమంటారా?
No. It's okay. It's all right. We'll have a talk at the end.
Okay.
Okay. It looks like access denied to me, but if she. So let us go to the next one, and meanwhile we'll sort it out. Ravi, is there a document that you can share with me?
Yes, Anna.
Go ahead and create the document, share it with me. What I want to show you is various kind of formatting options, various kind of template options, and how we can convert to PDF, etc. We'll do it.
Okay. Anna, mail ID ramarao@gmail.com.
That's right.
I have sent you, just check announce.
Okay. No, it has not yet gotten to me. Usually it should be really quick, and within the country, usually it is like immediate. And let's proceed on to the next one because uh, it, it is thing. So what we'll do is, uh, okay. Just email the text to me, Kirtana. I will go ahead and show it to you how we can transform it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Meanwhile, I have another document, some document about something about, some topic, it doesn't matter. Usually when you cut and paste, the text will be something like that, right? What you can do is new on document. Instead of the document, you always can choose something called from template. Choose a template. And here you'll find lots of different templates that's already pre-populated. From the essay to brochure to whatever it is. It is common in the Microsoft Word. It is common here. If you go and search for any given topic, in general, you'll find a template. For instance, for essay, this is one of the essays, right? But there are many, many different ones that is which you have. What I have done is I created a bunch of templates for myself. For example, I have a template, modified template. This is the template. For me, I'll show you how it is different. For example, I will show you this one. Okay. So this is how, for example, let's say this is the title. What you do is choose the title. See, I'm getting some kind of a formatting, etc. Right? How do I get it? That is because I use a template. You can use a template and automatically it improves. Second thing is that is what you notice is when you present a bunch of things like that, a blob of text, the blob of text is uninteresting to read. You need to break it up. And how do you break it up? Let's focus on it next. And there are multiple different ways of breaking it up. We are going to talk about the mechanics of breaking up the text, as well as the usual the techniques in writing, exactly what kind of a techniques one you would use in writing in breaking up a large blob of a paragraph using what we call, a topic sentences, how topic sentences, you can use it to structure a document. Okay. So I know that things didn't go exactly as planned. I was hoping that I would get a chance to actually take one of the things and edit it that. But nevertheless, let's take a, I will keep checking in case there is any. Yeah, and now I get all the mails. Okay.
I also shared one document.
Yeah, yeah. Now I get all the mails. Okay, I'm going to sharing it. Okay, it just took some time. That's all. Okay, let's take this, right? I'm going to take this and I'm going to create a new template for my template, and the standard my template. I'm going to take it so that it would paste. Okay. I'm going to make it in title. So that's different. And I'm going to each paragraph, right? Separate paragraph. One additional line between the paragraph, additional line between the paragraphs, additional line between the paragraph. And these three things convert into bullet list numbers, and remove the numbers because that way automatic numbers is happening. Are you guys following what I'm doing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, already looks better than what I got with, right? And next do one more thing. You go to tools and type spelling and grammar check. Obviously. See, automatically corrected. Now let's go some other things which it doesn't correct. Let's correct some of the things. For example, after full stop space, after full stop space, and after full stop space. Okay, there are a lot of places where after full stop, one must use a space, and after comma, there is one must use a space, and all of those kind of things that there are plugins that can correct it. I will show you later, but it is better to have that as a best practice. You get used to it anyway. Okay, so now when you correct all of that, you got capitalize and everything corrected, and you got yourself a decent thing already, right? Hello, Kirtana, can you see how we can transform your essay? What did we do?
Yes, sir.
What did we do? Step by step. What we did is first use the right template. Okay. What did we do next?
Correct
We
the
just
mistakes.
only formatting correction is what we did. That is lists, we applied the standard list one, and paragraphs we separate with the empty lines, and sentences we separate with the spaces, and then we ran the tools, the grammar check and the spelling check, right? And that itself basically takes care of 90% of the formatting issues. Okay. Fortunately, in your case, you actually have multiple paragraphs, right? Because you have you have, because if you since you have multiple paragraphs, it's already looks reasonable, and later we go and say whether this paragraph is right or not, and we actually take a look at it later. For now, we just only did the formatting corrections. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation, and let us see what next. What are the we are running way seriously behind, and let's take a look at okay. Okay, we did all of that. Create a new document, create a document using a template. And this is usually the process. The process is, that is, we create, okay, we collaborate, and we publish. In the creating, formatting, sharing, a lot of other things that actually creating, I put it's a big bullet. There are so many things that one doesn't create. Okay. In collaboration, there are standard things. The professor or teacher, what they might do is they might do some commenting. For example, let's take this document. And what I would do is, because I create a new document, right? It is not shared with her. Maybe I should do. One second. Okay. So, Kirtana, I'm going to put some comments here. So let's take a look at Dr. Christian Barnard's popular saga. So if I want to edit it, I can edit it directly. And Kirtana, are you there on the file?
Yes, sir.
And in which case, actually, you can see me editing, right?
Yes, sir.
In fact, it will actually show you, that is, if I were to put a comment, it will actually show you for you. For example, I might put comment like that. Okay. And
Okay,
I
sir.
might go and edit something like that. Okay. I can type in anything that whatever I want to. Okay. Do you see the comments that I said? Now, can you go ahead and at least correct the second one, and it will show me here?
Okay, sir.
So what you are seeing is the collaboration, that is, as she is editing, we'll be able to see here, in fact. Ketna, are you doing it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me when you're done. And then you basically can mark it up as resolved. When you click on the tick mark, it shows up as resolved. So tell me when you're done, Ketana.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So why don't we meanwhile go and take a look at the presentation. Okay. So what I'm showing you is the commenting. The commenting is a very useful way to collaborate with others. Usually there are two ways that I generally edit the documents. One is that it is in place commenting. That is what I've shown. Suppose I don't want to even let somebody else edit. I only want to do suggestions. That means I'm not going to, whatever edits I do, it will show up as suggestions. Okay. That is, I don't want to combine sentences with and I'm going to do the, see, that is, it shows up as editing and it will show as a comment, right? Whatever edit I show, it shows, and then she can accept or reject. It shows as when it says that is, if it says reject, it go back to the original one. And if she accepts it, it's going to be as is. See that that is the another way of doing the commenting. You understand, right? Comment is without editing, you just can say, this is what you want, etc. Now I see Kirtana join. Okay. Kirtana, go ahead and change the number to 7 to 7. Third paragraph. Right. You see, right? This is the way two people can collaborate directly online. And second, and yeah, she already resolved a question so that comment disappeared. Okay. And secondly, that is, it is interesting. If you want to, actually can take a look at all the versions. Who created what? This is Chandu Vemuda updated 8:56 a.m. number 7th. See the beauty that is, if two people are collaborating, Ravi, if you guys, for example, have this, right? Suppose you have a large audit document, somebody goes and edits one kind of insertion, you never have any problem. Yeah, all of you are working on the same document, different people are working on different tables, and somebody goes and edits one number here, you actually can track exactly who edited what number.
Yes, and we will get to know who has done.
Right. For example, here we can clearly see that it is not only that, we can revert back to whatever version. If you want to edit this version, you can name the versions also, by the way, and you can revert back, make a copy of that. And you can suppose, like, you edited and you say that, no, I like the previous version, but I forgot to keep a version. Don't worry, you didn't forget anything. You don't need to save it. You don't need to keep version. You go back and take a look at it. Right? That's a nifty way of actually, when I do the edits over time, always without having to save, I will remember that is how to go back in the history and get it back. And secondly, I know who, if I'm collaborating with anybody, I will know who actually did what. Okay. See that it is, she's here, she's editing. I can see, I can go and do my own editing. See that is because I put it in the suggestion mode, whatever edits I do, they are not permanent. They are suggestions only, which she can reject or not. If I go into edit mode, I can go ahead and do the editing, but only explicit comments will be there. Any questions on this? You can, lift your hand or any other kind of questions that is which you want to have. How to change language? We'll come to that later. That's the last part. Okay. So this is usually you put the document, somebody edits the document, somebody comments the documents, and you come back and did everything. So you have a bunch of things like that, right? Usually it's a good practice before publishing it. You resolve all of these things. Click mark resolution, click mark resolution, click resolution, click resolution. That means all of the comments you resolve. So you have this, right? Now what do? We want to share with others. I showed you, right? I can send a link to anybody. For example, anybody can open the link. Okay. Copy link. Only people. Anyone with link, they can view it. They can't edit it. You can view it. Got it? Copy link. I'm going to do, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to share it for everybody. If you want to, you click on that link and everybody will be able to, yeah, I think, I don't know how security permissions, whatever it is. Based on that, if you click on this, everybody should be able to view it. You see that it's already the bunch of people that are viewing it. I can see who are all the people. You don't even need to log in. I can force people to log in, or I can say that is without, there are different permission settings I can do. See, I gave you permission only to view. You can't edit, you can't do anything. I can give you permission to comment, in which case you can do commenting, you can't do editing. I can give you permission to edit, in which case you can do editing also. See, many different ways I can give you, right? Ravi, what is your email address?
My mail address is ravindranathreddypamidi@gmail.com.
Wow, that's a complicated, but Ravindranath, R-E-V-E or V-I?
RAVI RAVINDRANATH
Ravinder.
RAVINDRA
Okay, Ravindra.
NATH REDDY PAMIDI Pamidi P for Pune
Right, Pamidi.
@gmail.com.
Okay, I can make you an editor. Look at it. I can make you a commenter or I can make you viewer. See different things?
Okay.
See the choices.
Currently,
right? If I make you a commenter, you can't edit the document. You can comment.
Okay.
Right? Simple, right? This is the way you can collaborate with anybody. All of these things that are there. Now, that is the way that is in the document that is in progress that can be done. But how do you actually share with others? Look at this. You can download as a PDF text. This is, and by the way, you can even download as EPUB. That's what I was trying publishing books, right? It can do that also. But PDF means the idea is you are not asking anybody to edit it. This is the final form. Okay. I'm downloading as a PDF. And by the way, you yourself can do that. You can see, right? This is the PDF we generated. Looks neat, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, and incidentally, I don't advise that you change it, but let's see how many fonts are there. Many different fonts. In fact, even you can get even more fonts. There are tons and tons of more fonts. And unfortunately for Telugu, there is only one font. But anyway, that means that you can do pamphlets, newsletters, images. The sky is up to limit. I will show you a little bit more on the formatting side, and then we'll head to the mechanics of writing part. Any questions? So, Ravinder, repeat what did we do so far?
Okay. So first we took unformatted text. So we formatted properly. We corrected wherever mistakes were there, wherever corrections required. Then we shared with other person. And what we did initially is we have suggested some changes. So when they were doing changes, we were able to see. That is one thing. Then later we can see history also, whether he has changed what was original. We can see history. Then we can download once we decide that is final. Then we can download as PDF and circulate it.
Fabulous. We also showed two kinds of ways of commenting. One is that is a commenting itself. Another is suggestions. Edits become suggestions. Therefore, that is they are not edits, final edits. The other person knows exactly what is changed and what is not changed. Got it? That way, suppose I am editing your document. I don't want to presume that is correct. I want to make these suggestions. Instead of putting everything as a comment, I keep going editing. And the other person will see the suggestions, and the other person, she is free to accept it or reject. Cool, right?
Yes.
So far, and this is the cycle, that is edit, format, edit until you're happy, collaborate until you get the final form, and then PDF and submit to the teacher. Simply is that. But there is a better way of doing submission. Suppose you are sending it over WhatsApp to your friends. What would you do? I already showed you, share the viewer link, right? That means they can go into Google Docs and view the document like this, right? That's one way. But there is even a better way. That better way is you can publish to the web. Let me show you that. So it is going to produce really this document, and then you can share it with Gmail or Facebook or whatever it is. It's published. Now, how would it look? Let's go here, and this is the published link. This is how it would look. Obviously, formatting is because of font differences, etc., but it still works. There is one more thing. Now you might say, how am I going to give this link to anybody, right? Look at the link. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir. We can.
Did you see the on the top what it says? D/E 2pack 2PSEX -1. It's like 200 characters there, right? Sharing is going to be very difficult with anybody, right? Of course, you can cut and paste if you are on the computer, but if you want to tell over the phone, how will you tell anybody? Right? So there is a way to do that. That would be, you can create short links. How many of you heard of Bitly?
I'm hearing first time.
First time. In the chat box, has anybody else has students heard of Bitly? No? Don't worry. So the Bitly is, okay, you need to set up an account. If you got Google account, you can log in with Google account. But here is the thing. What I can go is, I can go and create a new link. See, create, go here. And this is the long URL, right? Long URL. And look at it, it created a short link. And instead, it created link, right? I can even change it. Usually what I do is, I give my name so that it's unique. Ramarao Kanaganti hyphen Kirtana doc1. Maybe I'll do create multiple documents. Link has been created. Right? Now, if I go into that one, look at this. Bitly http://bitly bit.ly/ Ramarao Kanaganti hyphen Kirtana hyphen doc1. It goes here. So this is the way that you can share it. That is, you can publish it. It produces a really, really awful link. Don't worry about that awful link. You come to Bitly and you create your own short link. And in fact, you customize the name that the way you want to, and then give it out to anybody. Okay. And that's permanent. Here is the beauty. You published it once, right? I go and change the document here. That's all. I look at it. I'm not saving it. I'm not keeping versions. None of the pain, right? I just edit it. That's it. And if you wait for a while, and it won't every 5 minutes update it automatically every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes it updates it. And 5 minutes back, if you come and click reload, and it would have changed it. You yourself can test it. Okay. So what did we do so far? We, after doing the commenting and publishing it, we've seen how to publish in multiple ways. You can share it, the link as a viewer. You can share the PDF, or you can publish to the web and share the published link. And published link has one advantage, namely, you don't have to show any versions or anything that the people can't view anything. And the final version, whatever is published version, that is the only thing that they can see. Okay. Any questions? If no questions, we'll go to the next one. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Ravindra, so any feedback, anything so far, what you learned, would you be able to use it? Is it something
Yes,
that you
Anna.
can
Actually, this option is very nice, Anna. Publishing, because if I want someone to just view, It is actually very nice. Whenever I change, it will get updated automatically. So they cannot
Yeah,
edit, they can see.
Yeah, they can see. And more importantly, they don't even have to have Google account, nothing.
I think, yeah, they just need to click that link. And even
That's
that
right.
Bitly also is, I'm hearing first time, that is very useful, I feel.
Yes. In fact, this is one particular way you can use it. One thing that you can do is,
Huh.
this is a wonderful, very easy way of actually creating whatever document you write, you put it into Google Doc and you publish it and you create a short link and keep one document, master document, in that all the documents you have written with the short links. That is it. You got yourself your home page, your page and everything. That means all of the documents ever written that you will be able to easily access. Everything is published. Everything is available always. Right? And I mean, it's a very, very free and easy way of publishing in the internet, and also keeping your documents forever. And if you are visiting some friend or anything like, hey, I need to show you a document, don't worry, the document is in Google and it's published. And the link, if you properly give right kind of a naming structure, your name hyphen something, and you would be able to give him the link directly.
Yes, sir.
Right? So that is a common, you actually can do the publishing on the web. So let's go to the document, the slide deck, and let's proceed on to the next one. So this is a cycle that we went through, simple workflow. Okay. Where are we? We're done with how to, the mechanics of the Google Docs. You understood it now. It is done. Now let's come to the other thing, which is a slight digression. But nevertheless, how do you start writing? I mean, we've seen Kirtana's writing, and Nayak, why don't you put your writing in the Google Doc, and we will come to that after the slide. By the slide time the slide is over, we will come to your work. Okay.
I sent you, sir.
No, put in the Google Doc.
Yes, sir. I shared with you.
So you already put in the Google Doc and shared the Google Doc with me.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Please check it.
We'll come to that then. So no matter what, I often found you just have to ask 4 questions when you're writing. First and foremost, who am I writing it for? Is it for somebody who is 5-year-old, or is it a PhD guy? Is it only for you, or is it for others? Or is it for the teacher? Or is it for the audience who doesn't know the subject? Or is it like that? That question informs, it tells you exactly how you should write. Because once you know the audience, you will know how to write. For example, Kirtana, you have written, who did you write it for? That's a question you need to ask. Is it for your friends? In which case, you know your friends, you know what they know, you know what they don't know, right? Or is it for your teacher? There also, you know exactly what you want, what exactly your teacher is, what he knows, etc. Knowing your audience is the primary fundamental question. And that works even with the, doesn't matter, already I have never ever failed answering that question, including examination paper. Because here is the way that is, I have, for those of you who don't know, I mean, I studied in the APRST. In the exams, before the final exams, last exams before final, I was the last in my class. Out of 32 students, I was 32nd. And in the final exams, I was school first, not only school first, 10th class in the state, I got 2nd rank. What is it that actually got me? These are the questions that basically got me. First question is, whom am I writing for? I am writing for an invigilator who is coming and validating my test. Let's understand exactly who that guy is. That guy is most likely a teacher, and he is grading the exam paper in the middle of a summer day in a fan that may or may not be working, and he is hot. He wants to get home. He wants to get out of really quickly. I don't want him to put any effort in understanding what I'm writing. I want to give it to him in a form that he can digest very easily. I know that he's looking for 5 points. In a 5-mark question, he's looking for 5 points. Therefore, I have to give him the 5 points. So write 5 paragraphs. In each one, highlight exactly what the point is. Underline it so that he reads it, he gets out of the way. See, look at that, how understanding exactly who my audience is I'm able to target exactly how I write it, how I format it. The second one, what is the purpose? What exactly do you want to end up? How do you know you succeeded? That is, normally the answer is for the students, unfortunately, it is this: to convince the teacher that you know the topic. But that is not really the answer. That is, it is not about convince. Usually it is about persuading others to your point of view or validity of your point of view. Or sometimes, as I said, when you explain to yourself, it is about understanding your own topic so that you can remember, or you are noting it down so that you can remember it later. Whatever the purpose is, that's what you really need to understand the purpose, because otherwise you don't know whether what you have written, whether it is meeting the purpose or not. This is the second most important. That is what I think. Sorry. Third one is, what is the scope? That means that is how much am I going to write this? I can write, for example, 20 pages, 30 pages, or 2 pages, half a page. What exactly am I going to cover? How much am I going to cover? What are the mechanics, and how am I going to distribute it? How am I going to give it to others? These are the kind of things that you need to understand it. That is usually, by the way, these are the things that, in fact, in Indian literature, especially when you go back to, like, 3rd century, 4th century BC, these have already been documented. It's called Anubandha Chatushtayam. They explain what kind of questions you should ask before starting any document. Who is it for? What is the purpose? What am I going to cover in the document? What are the other materials? 3. The fourth question is that I was saying other relevant materials. That means that is no document, nothing occurs in vacuum. You're always taking off on the other ones. That means the relevant documents. You can refer to them. You can say that is, I'm assuming that this document is in rebuttal or in contrast, in compare, in something related to the other document. Please go and read it before you come to me, because I'm assuming you read it. Or if there's nothing else, in the end, at least if you are setting the thing that saying that is, you should go and read the book review, you say, please go and read this book review. This is what I reviewed, etc. Or if there are other different perspectives, point it out. And if you borrowed some material, point it out. That is, there is some intellectual honesty you require to actually to make. I mean, none of whatever you write is going to be original. That is not a problem. But you should have the honesty to acknowledge where you got your influences from. That's what you do in that, the fourth one. These 4 questions is the things that is what you basically would use. And now I'm going to take Nayak's document, and we actually take a look at that and go through this one. And as I said, that is, choosing the right tone, choosing the right content, and right length, format, and everything. And these are all the things that actually that these questions actually will inform you. And in fact, this is the technique that I often use. Ask these questions, and I will go and write out in the first paragraph. I'll tell you, I'm assuming you are so and so, or this is a document is for 10th class students or college students. And by the end of the talk, this is what you will get. This is what the scope is. These are the other relevant materials. If you go back and look at this PPT in the beginning, that's exactly what I said. And who am I writing for? And what is the purpose? And what is the scope? I defined all of those 3 things. And I'm going to do the relevant materials in the end. But these are 3 things already defined, those things for you. Any questions before I go ahead and edit Nayak's essay? Any questions, guys? Ravi, anything that you can say? Anything?
Okay. So this one, yeah. No.
The
So
4 questions.
actually, regarding questions, no? No specific question. No one has asked.
Okay. So let's go to the document. One of the documents that has shared me, Ravi shared this document with me. Not Ravi, this is Nayak. Nayak shared his document with me, Pavan Nayak. So I'm opening the document. This is the Pavan's document. Naturally, it can do with a lot of formatting, but more important than that, let's basically let us go and Pavan, you are there. You can see the Pavan's photo here, right? And I can see exactly where he is hovering also in the document. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to cover to heading 1. And I'm going to do that. This is without any temp formatting. And firstly, when I take a look at this document, who is it for? Pavan, can you answer the question? Who did you write this document for?
It is for me, sir. Making a note of what lectures.
So the purpose is you. I mean, the audience is you. That's
Yes.
clear. It's a note for yourself. But secondly, that is, what is the purpose of this document?
To refer again, when I go back to, it's like a note, sir. I'm making
Right.
a
But a
note.
note also can have multiple things, right? To one of the things could be, it is a way of remembering,
Yes.
right? Notes. Second is it's a way of understanding, because this information may not be there exactly in this form. You studied multiple textbooks and you came up with this way of looking at it, right?
Yes.
Therefore, that means that it could be a way to understand it,
Yes.
right? And what is the scope? I mean, what exactly? Why did you write only 1 or 2 pages? Is it, why can't it be like 20 pages? It can be any number of things, right?
Yes.
There is a purpose. There is a reason why you chose this, right?
Yes.
So you ask those questions, right? Finally, what are the relevant materials? I see this thing, which is obviously you didn't create it, right? I
Sorry.
mean, it's not your original research. There is some amount of information that actually has come, you refer to other documents to produce this document, right?
This is the one what our lecturer said, sir. I made a note and then whatever he said, I just
Let's
typed.
look at that. That's beautiful. This is the notes from your lecturer. You have
Yes.
no way, you didn't independently verify or validate. This is a
Yes.
perfect example how what we can do and do the research, how the research works. Okay. Firstly, you always think that you are writing it for a throwaway thing. Nothing is throwaway. Things will come to useful much later on. Who knows? Maybe when you go to degree, when you go to start working, maybe this information is useful at the time, right? That's the beauty of keeping these documents forever. So you owe to yourself to write an introduction. Okay. See, once that becomes a habit, right, for you, you will always keep doing it, and that becomes second nature, and all your documents will benefit from it. Okay. And so what are exactly are your world energy scenario? It's not clear to me that this is just a classification of 2 kinds of energy scenario. For example, when you talk about world energy scenario, one can think about in the context of where the next the wars, etc., are coming because of energy. It could be any number of things like that, right? The title really doesn't suggest something. So that's where this introduction would help, right? This is just a classification of energy. For example, you write in this document, right? So you know exactly what you're doing, right? So this is the one conversion source is one. By the way, if I were to put it in the right template, this actually would work well, and I will show you the right templates, etc., how to create right template for yourself. Okay. For instance, you can change this, and you can change this. For example, instead of Arial, you can change Roboto, and you can change it to let us say you change it to 15 font, and you can change the, you see that is, you can change the color, text color, etc. And let's say change the text color to blue. I'm not suggesting anything you do. I'm only showing you how to change all these things and how to make them permanent across all your document. Okay. And no, that should do. Okay. Suppose it's not, this is not good actually, but suppose you were to say that is, you have that one, that's the heading, right? And you go here, you did this, right? All that you need to do is, sorry, you have to apply this. I changed the colors and fonts, and then I went to format, and I said paragraph styles. Before that, borders and I can do underline and the border color, and there's one background color. See, I changed the heading. That's the heading one. That's how it looks. Now I go ahead and basically do on format, on paragraph styles, heading one, update heading one to match. That's it. All the heading ones became like that. See, you understood what I did? That is,
Yes, sir.
I manually went and edited heading one, and then I said from now onwards, heading one will take this, apply this format. That is the way you can actually create. I created the format templates. Okay. And the second is that is, you're never going to manually do this thing. It's a one, that's fine. You use the bullet list. And second is, you are not going to do the hanging indentation. That's the old style. And you just go ahead and do. This is a, if you directly were to do this, none of these pains, right? So the spaces, etc., all of those things wouldn't be there. So I'm only going to do 3, and then I'm going to show you how to do something better. So you have this hydro resources, fossil fuels. Okay, look at this. Let's explore the fossil fuels. Do you see this on the side of it? Basically, I got Google.
Yes.
Look at this, multiple different sources of fossil fuels. You can click on it and you can do the research on it. And more importantly, whatever information you get, you actually can, you can use it. So they're trying to do more and more in this one. Eventually, what the Google's plan is, as you are typing the text, based on the text, it actually can bring in the relevant tables, etc., so that you can incorporate them then and there. Okay. So for instance, you can take an image. Sorry.
Just drag and drop.
Just drag and drop. Sorry. Okay. The bullets, you can adjust it. I think that it is taking as a different one, right? So what you do is you can format it. Now you can say, you can crop the image, various kind of things that you can do formatting of the image. Okay. I'm not going to go into that, but image options, how the image should occur, image, basically text wrapping. For example, that is image, you want it in the text, break the text, in line with the text, wrap the text. Okay. See? You didn't have to even think. There are images there, there are things there, just you get and paste it here and you get your research done on any number that is, for example, that is generation capacity, hydro resources generation capacity. You take a look at it. hydroresources.com. No, look at this. All these are companies, right? Hydro resources capacity. That is US government, national hydropower, various kind of sources that you can even get Wikipedia. I'm not suggesting that is use a Wikipedia link, but nevertheless, you take a look at it. If it is appropriate, and you can drag it. Oops. You see what I'm doing, right?
Yes.
I'm clumsily dropping in different places, but I can edit it appropriately, but the link is there. Okay.
It's fine, sir. Super.
So, hey, your regular simple document suddenly has become almost like a research paper. Right? If you can find the link to this line, then all that you need to do is go here and put link, insert link. Look at this. It itself suggests, for example, it doesn't. But depending on the thing, sometimes it is smart enough to be able to convert it also. For example, nuclear resources, right? You put the link, select it, and put link. Look at this. First link it suggests is nuclear power. Done. Apply. Boom. What do you have? You have fully annotated document. If you add a little bit more information, get it from whatever it is on the web, and if you read it, etc., if you collect the information, you would have, instead of whatever the document, you would have like 2 or 3 page document, and something your teacher never would have even imagined. Right? All within your own document. And then, better yet, you're going to go ahead and publish it. Right?
Yes,
So that is even though you started out with the idea that is only you are remembering it only for you, as a document writing, you can be encouraged to do the original research. You go through, and I'm not suggesting you cut and paste from the web. You go and read multiple sources. You see what is right, and we'll have a different session about how to search on the web to figure out which is right and which is wrong later on. But then, you can take a look at some of these sources, whatever sources are, you borrow it from here. And in a short while, this becomes a very definitive document that is then what you start out with. Okay, let's go to the questions, and I will add it to them. That is correct. That Padma basically, by the way, I just want to introduce Padmaja here. She is actually, she is the most qualified to teach the English part of it. She has a PhD in English literature. Can we unmute Padmaja, please? Hari? And she teaches to high schoolers and college students on how to write English. And she made following a few suggestions. First and foremost, any source need to be cited. That is 100% true. For example, here, we cut and paste from somewhere. Where did we cut and paste? I completely forgot. So firstly, that's wrong. Secondly, that is unethical. I mean, if I borrowed it from somebody, I really should be saying that. Unfortunately, here is the way that it actually can do it. Image options. there is a not position, sorry, adjustment not recolor. So there is a way actually you can add a footnote. Actually, you can put it in alt text. This are whoever it is copyright for, and usually Wikipedia is Wiki Commons, so you actually has the link description. Look at the copyright. Wikipedia is a copy left, perhaps, whatever it is, but you can actually put it in that, and that will be available for anybody. And there is another way of doing it. I will show you later if I can find it. That is usually that I put it as a text underneath as a caption. Okay, there are no citations, but you can add citations also to this one. And I will show you that in the full-fledged course on how to write in English. For now, I'm going to focus on the research because that takes more preparation and probably time-wise, we probably wouldn't be able to cover. So, any questions so far? Let's take a look at some other suggestions. Pami, are you there?
Yes, yes. Hi everybody. I don't know. Yes, but writing is something that I not just teach but also do. So, what Ram Rao Garu said here about purpose is crucial because writing is taking action. It isn't just you're not just writing for your teacher or writing. You're writing to say something, and so what am I writing? What's the purpose of my writing? Why should I include the source? It's logical. So not only is there a formatting reason, there has to be an internal logic that motivates you. Like, I'm writing to inform about the issue of energy sources. And I'm doing this because people to maybe remove certain assumptions and put something else, or the purpose could be both information and argument, but you have to be very intentional about that. I think that's all. That's very important, and then all of this sort of becomes logical as you practice. I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, that does. That it is the 4 fundamental questions. I think that what happens is people often forget these questions and they go and actually they will start writing without asking these questions themselves. And I noticed that it is not only this folly is something that not only the novices, these people fall to, even the people that very, very well-educated people in the middle of document, they'll forget exactly what is the purpose of the document is.
Okay.
What happens is that is, you always think, I have something to say, I will say it. But they are not, there is the purpose and the audience and the scope, all of these things limit. They constrain you in saying what you are saying. They force you to say it in the right way. Otherwise, it will become a stream of consciousness, a dump, and that is no good for the part. It doesn't meet the purpose.
Exactly. So if I can just introduce, I think the key thing is that every piece of writing has a structure. That's what I meant by, so the genre, you're writing an information paper, it has headings and subheadings, but that in itself doesn't structure it. You know, there's a structure, and the basic structure of human communications since immemorial is it has an introduction, it has a middle, it has a conclusion. No matter how short it is, you come in, you say, hello, how are you? You build those ideas, give supporting details, and you conclude with something. So I think this a 3-part structure for everything.
Right. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to touch upon the next. So we went over the demo actually already, this one. And let's look at the next slide. This is exactly what Padmaja is saying. That is, usually, this is what I do. How do I start writing? I create a draft, 1 sentence per paragraph. I say this, etc. that is entire thread when read should make sense. That is a narrative structure. That could be like like a enumeration of list like what Ravi has, or that could be somebody said this, but it is not that. There are other ways to look at it. This is the complete picture as I think, and these are relevant ones. And then go to the beginning. And then finally you can add the beginning. In the beginning, you add the beginning saying that is, set the expectations. What are you going to tell the audience? Then all of these things, whatever you said. Then in the end, tell them what you said. That is, this is where I first wanted to, I told you that I'll tell you this. This is what I told. And so that is, it gives a completeness. It finishes the document, so to speak. There is a beginning. In the middle is basically you go through all of this narrative structure that basically has anything. And in the end, we focus in the beginning. Usually in the beginning, you introduce the problem, you introduce the scope, you introduce yourself, you introduce all of these things. If you go back and take a look at it, I actually have written exactly that way. I told you who I am, why I am uniquely qualified, why you should trust me. And then I told you what I'm going to teach you. I told you I scoped it out entirely and I gave you the list. And then I went on to produce all the things. In the summary, I will tell you what all you learned. In a way, the summary is a sort of repetition of the introduction, but in a way that is a tick mark. We did this, we did this, we did this, like that. And it is somewhat of a more conclusive, simpler one. In the beginning, you might raise a question. In the end, you would answer it, and you might raise some other question to lead them to some other learning. So there are lots of different narrative structures. I'm not going to go into that, but simply in the middle, whatever the changes, there is a beginning, there is an end. In the middle, that is typically you have a bunch of paragraphs, and each of these paragraphs has one sentence, the key sentence, what I call a topic sentence, and that each one topic sentence, you expand it. You can expand with, usually it has some kind of a details. Usually it could be in evidence. For example, let's go back to what he has, right? Fossil fuels, sorry, this one. And what is the key? I mean, here he is like telegraphing it, but if you were expanding it, what is the key theme here? Hydroelectricity. What is the key sentence here? Here, because he's writing quote unquote notes, he really didn't like it in the structure, writing the structure. But usually, if you were writing it for persuasion or other kind of purposes, you would do the following. What is the key sentence? Hydro resources does not cause any pollution to the environment, but capital investments are powerful. How are you going to justify this sentence? Is that true? Is that not true? And then you got to go into the detail and you justify it. And incidentally, there are a lot of people that disagree with it. For example, hydro resources, one of the biggest thing is it does cause the pollution to the environment, because when you construct the dams, when you construct other things, it does cause of the local flora and fauna that leads to the pollution in the environment, etc. It is possible. I'm not taking sides here, mind you, but I'm saying that is any kind of this kind of a sentence without assertion in persuading situation doesn't stand a chance, and then you will expand with the details. Sometimes it could be as simple as enumeration. That is, there are 5 sources of energy, and that is not a persuasion. You're taking the fact, and then you go 1 is 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So each of this paragraph, typically you have one sentence, and you expand on that sentence to provide more kind of a evidence, details, description, a color, a flavor, some kind of thing, something. And then you have bunch of sentences like that, and bunch of paragraphs like that, and each of these topic sentences by themselves tell the complete story. Padmaja, would you like to add anything?
No, absolutely. I think this has to do with how you develop a topic. It can't be too broad. It has to be narrowly focused. It has to depend upon the topic comes from. For instance, I can't write an information paper that says saving our planet. That's too broad. My information paper has to be something that I am interested in, and it emerges as I think about it. So it would be maybe plastic pollution, like plastic pollution where? Plastic pollution in the Pacific Ocean. So an information paper is something that has to be focused. I don't know if that is, and so that comes from asking questions, not just about what I want to say, but how do I want to say it? And what claim do I want to make about this little area, about this large topic? What am I
Right.
interested in?
Right.
What am I
Usually-
invested in saying?
Usually, what the challenge for me, what happens is in this here, oftentimes these people are given a topic and say write it. The topic is as broad as like you probably heard of Oxford writing. They give one word like water. You're supposed to write
Yeah.
one essay like that, right?
Sure.
Here it is something like that. So there is that challenge is there. Even within that challenge, understand in a lot of ways that there is a insincerity in the whole exercise to start with, because there the purpose is, as I said, I somewhat cynically said, what is the purpose of this document? It could be as silly as getting marks, because the teacher asked, why did you choose this topic? The teacher gave us the topic, like that. It could be like that. So they may not have that flexibility, but even within the constraints, within that thing, there is a decent job one can do. Even it may not be completely persuasive, but at least you can learn the mechanics of it, presenting the other perspective, presenting multiple perspective, presenting, doing the citing, getting the mechanics right is something that they can do. That is, however faithless it may be, it can be faithful to the craft of craft, not so much in the to the art of writing, to the craft. So
Yes, yeah. So why am I writing this? So that clarifies, that extends that issue about, why there's a purpose. That's the question. Why am I writing this? I want to say that maybe I want to say that fossil fuel. I'm just an example. That fossil fuel is the automatic bad guy in this. But we had fossil fuel for a reason, because of its density and its transportation and its quality as a fuel that's available and the energy needs of the world or something. But alternative fuels can step in, whatever it is. So it's very important to know that human beings are always able to write. Writing has a real purpose, not just to publish something.
right.
Yeah.
So let us look at what we have done so far. While we kind of jumped around because of the essays, etc. One thing is I was saying how you write it, like creating a rough draft with the topic sentences. And once you have a topic sentences, you have an outline. You know what you're going to say. You know the important points. You know the flow, and then you can go ahead and you can expand on that, and you can go into each topic sentence can get into a paragraph. And there are a few standard things. I generally prefer to start with the topic sentences. Mostly these days, people lack the patience to find it. They look for the first one. Okay, this is the point he's making, and they might skip the rest. If they believe you, they don't. They say, okay, I'm sold. I got it, and they move on. Or if they want to know, is this really true? And they read the rest of the paragraph that can justify it, etc. So typical paragraph is you connect to the previous paragraph, write the topic sentence, you give the details. If required, you summarize it, what it is, if it is too long. Otherwise, you go to the next one. And usually that is what I said, that is the inverted pyramid style of writing. I start with the main message in the beginning and then expand it. And of course, you also can give the complete details and say, summarize it. Therefore, I'm concluding, etc. But usually these days, that is, people lack the patience. So I try to say, whatever you want to tell up front, and then go ahead and people lack the patience these days to write it. But I'm not dissuading from writing. A lot of other styles of writing, a lot of other things that I work. But one thing I must basically tell you is that the way that is, since I started writing to now, one big change is shorter paragraphs have become absolute necessity these days. Why? People's attention spans. At one time, half a page paragraph, perfectly okay. Now, 4 or 5 lines beyond that, if the paragraph goes, the people are wandering around. So try to do the short paragraphs. There is a way of doing it. And I don't mean to say break it down into multiple paragraphs. There are many different ways of doing it. Let me describe a few ways of writing the paragraph. If you have seen that is normal tendencies, you put a lot of conflating information in one paragraph, and by breaking it down by topic sentence itself gives you multiple paragraphs. But even beyond that, you can do something more. Let's look at what they are. It's purely formatting thing, mind you. But as a lot of people said, that is the content format, form is the content, right? That is how you write is what you write. So the one of the problems is wall of text. Yes, you could, that is when you see this blob of text, right? People's eyes gloss over. They just simply move on. They don't read. That is the thing, because everybody looks for the text. One of the fundamental things is that people want text to be scannable. People don't read, they scan. So that is, you need to give them the anchor to the eye. How do you anchor the eye? So that means there are some visual tricks that you do. For instance, that is, use smaller paragraphs. Therefore, that the first paragraph, first sentence in the paragraph is the anchor. Read it. Okay, that's important information. If they believe it, fine. If they don't believe it, there is an evidence they can read it, and they're short enough that they actually can read it. That's one thing. Second is that is, you break the text into visually in some ways. For example, enumerated list is one thing. That is, whenever you get a chance, you break it down list, because people's brains are, thanks to BuzzFeed and other things, that trained to see this kind of a categorized list. And third is that is images and visual elements and tables and graphs and charts and other kind of things that can add information. Considering that is several of your engineers, and that kind of information is anyway normal, natural, and embrace it and certainly do that. And sometimes even when there is no need, I generally try to throw in a visual element just as a mood entity. Mood icon, for example, is a perfect idea. That is, without icons, still you're able to do it, but icons essentially tells you, for example, a complex topic, warning, I put an icon. Doesn't a text tell you, am I weak in basically saying that is the text so weak I have to use the icon? No, but the fact is, when the icon is there, the people respond to it very easily and quickly. And this is the writing, this is the kind of a writing that generally goes on the web. And let's face it, more or less reading is a learned art. And the reading, people are learning how, by basically reading not the books but the web. And these are the kind of things that have become popular on the web. And these are, for instance, that when we're writing a book, they gave us a list of the things for us to do. These are some of the things that they actually taught us how to do it. I never realized, I did not learn it in the regular writing courses, but it is in the book publishing business, in the matter of actually how do we attract audience. That's basically the, while it may or may not be suitable, I found it in a lot of, when I go to a lot of audience, what I find is that is people rather not read. That is, they read not because they want to. Sometimes the job descriptions to read, so they read. You have to make it easy for them, and without compromising what you are trying to say. And sometimes, mind you, this kind of a lists and etc. clarify to your mind also, enumeration, how many types, whatever it is. Because after all, our mind is an organizing machine, and this is one of the ways of information can be organized. We will go into this kind of a detail in a separate session on writing some other day. But because I have the chance of telling about it from formatting perspective, I told you about how exactly that the things do. We have, I'm speeding up deliberately because we are coming to the near end of the thing. And breaking up the paragraph, we've seen it. Using the lists and images, sort of paragraphs, you've seen it. And finally, it did that, right? And I also have a rule, never have more than 5 elements. If there are more than 5 elements, I generally put in sublists. And if in general there are only 2 elements, watch out. Maybe it is compare and contrast situation. Maybe it is A or B kind of a thing. It is not just A and B. Watch out. Whenever you get a chance of comparing 2 things, don't lose a chance, because that is a way that the people can, that is when we write, you always want to pose it in the context. How is it different? How that is, you need to show the nuance, and that is the way it can help. For example, Kirtana, you have written a document about in celebration of being alive. Is there something called in celebration of being dead? What is the contrast? What is the other way of looking at it? If so, if there is other way of looking at it, that is the contrast. You need to draw it, not in such an obvious terms, but put yourself as the disbeliever and see how it can be, how you can make it believe. And that gives you some ideas exactly how the perspectives that you can present. And and sharing with others, we went over it. I don't want to go into the details now. And we demoed it also. These things were done by PDF, etc. and versioning also we have done. Finally, I want to talk about this one. Checklist before. This is a very, very important checklist, simple checklist. Anybody, for anybody. Do you have an introduction and ending? Do you run spell check and grammar check? How do you run it? Here is go into the document, go into the tools, not this one. Look at this. Look at this. The basically shows that is what are the things that is like actually what spelling and grammar. Change widely used. Apparently it repeated, widely used. Change requirement, there is a typo. For few to for a few. Hydro, few mistakes here and there, it can automatically correct it. See, those kind of things are free for you. Why not use it, right? I mean, there is no big danger in actually doing that. So just do that. Paragraphs, readability, and all of this in breaking up the text. And do you acknowledge sources in preparing the text? That is citations, references, whatever you are using, all of that. Right? And finally, this is the last topic somebody wanted, that is, turns out there are lots and lots of different plugins that one can use. How do you find a plugin? Sorry. Right, let's do this one. Add-ons. Get add-ons. Okay. Google input. One second. So I'll show you. So for instance, one simple thing is insert table of contents. That's a plugin. Sorry. So if you have the plugin, all these kind of plugins that can be added. For example, things like table of contents, permissions. Sorry, I'm not going to go into those things, but nevertheless, there are all these plugins that are available, and you can use the plugins to insert table of contents, to insert the graphs, to insert images. For example, insert an image. You can do multiple different research, upload, etc. But more importantly, you can add-ons. Since I have not used it for a long time, the permissions probably would ask for permissions, etc. Look at it. Diagrams, it comes in. And apparently I have a bunch of diagrams. So there are plugins. You can go and take a look at the plugins. And okay, this provides a flowchart one. There are many different plugins, and you can Google for them. And there are somebody put together the top 20 plugins. Some of them for various kind of a language translations and other things, etc. That's one thing. And let me show you one thing that I use. Telugu plugin. This comes from Chrome only. It's a Chrome input tools. And once I start using it, can you see it? Can you guys see it?
Yes, sir. Okay.
So how do you do it? Question is, you need to use Chrome. In Chrome, there is something called Google Input Tool, and this is the one. And go to Google Input Tool and add Telugu to it, and then you can basically run it. And possibly I will do this session again a different way, possibly focusing on what are the tools to write effectively in Telugu. And at that point, I'll cover it. But simply that is, you can write in Telugu also. Once you are in that mode, this is all in Telugu. It is not exactly perfect. There are some bugs, but it's not as bad, right? Okay. All right. So summary is that is, while I glossed over, there are a lot of document add-ons are there. You can get the add-ons and you can use the add-ons. Wow, those templates. There are a bunch of templates are there. Look at this. There are so many different templates are there, including HR, project management, timesheets, letters and resumes. You can, different people are putting together different ones, checklists, home and family, attendance, student, different purposes. Okay, different purposes, different ones. Okay, I can insert. So this is the table of contents H1 and H2. So it will show up here. Sorry, table of contents, because it only picks up the headers. I didn't have headers earlier. I put headers. Now it is coming like that. So a table of contents is a plugin. There are a lot of other plugins are there. Any questions? Let's take a look at so Anusha, that is, looks like time wise it is probably we are done. So I don't know whether it is, we can go over your document, but at least you got the idea, right? How to do your doc anyway. You have the tools, you went over it. So I suggest you go ahead and do whatever you need to do, how you improve your document. All right. Or get in touch with me later and I'll show you how to do that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So before we sign off, let us take any questions. Any questions? Two things. I know in the beginning there were some glitches. Modulo those glitches, I think after that we got off on fairly normal footing. And tell me, what would you like to see next? Fact is that is we only touch the beginnings of the tool and beginnings of the process of writing. We can use I don't want to separate the tool from writing only because there is at least there is something concrete. I want to show you something concrete. Otherwise it will be too abstract. And to make it concrete on the writing side also, we took a couple of writings, but we didn't have chance to go in detail. And possibly, Pami, I would like to ask your opinion on how exactly if we were to do a session on writing and writing alone, but it has to be show and tell. It can't be just tell, because most of these people lack the vocabulary of abstraction. We have to take one essay from somebody, and over the course of 2 hours, we have to transform it into what is acceptable for a regular one. And we can do it for many, many different types. That is informative, persuasive, even resume for that matter. We actually can do that, right?
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. I think we can focus on just introduction, maybe.
I think we may be able to do slightly more. I mean, instead of what I mean is that is we probably can even, if they have the material and everything ready, it's like this. Somebody has written a document, complete document. right? There is no more research needs to be done. It needs to be rhetorically corrected. It needs to be structurally corrected, let us say. I think that is with a back and forth over 2 hours, we can accomplish that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that is a worthwhile exercise to do 3 or 4 types, because I would take the feedback from the students. What kind of a documents would you write? Give us the feedback. We will teach you how to write the document. We will take one of your guys' documents only, and we work with you, ask you the questions. And that is, for example, to give you an idea, right? If you write on fossil fuels, Padmija here is not an expert. She doesn't know anything about fossil fuels, but the fact is she knows enough about the writing process to question you to make that essay best, right? Normally we misunderstand this being saying he knows more, therefore his essay is better. It is not that at all. It is not about nothing about knowing more. It is about knowing the process of writing more, knowing the mechanics of writing more, knowing how to write more, not the topic. That is the thing that I want to teach you. The
That's a
reason
great
for that
point.
saying is historically that was what taught to them. You are not able to write well because you don't know the topic well, is what they are told.
True. It is not an information problem. It is a
Right.
problem of, so that's like the only comparison I can give is people in a bookstore. Like, should I buy this? Should I read this? Is it relevant to me? No, you're reading I've been reading and I know writing because I read just for form. I read things not for content. I
Right.
read them and the structure gets into my mind like an osmosis. And then when I have to do something relevant, I sort of have an idea, just like we learn how to speak language. So
Right. Exactly. So that is the thing that I want to, and I can make no mistake. Almost all the successful people, the reason why I said almost is there are some people who can't write that have become successful, but historically looking at it, most of the successful people know how to write really well. That is because their success comes from their ability to communicate to others, persuade others to their point of view. And almost all the people have shown that ability. And that is uniformly, doesn't matter from the religion to science to arts to business to every successful person that I have met in my life knows how to write really well. And exactly, writing is thinking in language. And in fact, oftentimes this is what I do. When I don't know what about any topic, I start writing. That will explain to me what the
I want
topic.
to say.
So with that, unless you have some questions, we can conclude for the day. And any questions, that is, I am looking for the chat room. If there are any questions, I will answer the questions. Type in the questions.
And no questions, Rama.
Yeah. Any questions? Sorry, you have a question?
No questions, Rama.
Hari, I want you to speak up a little bit because you are a working professional, right?
Yeah.
What is your experience and what is it that you want out of writing?
See, the one point I learned from this is like, see, going with a big paragraph, nobody is going to read that. That I understood now. That is what observation also. Like as much as simple points, we have to make it concise, right? And making the point very clear. That is one thing. I don't know what is how we can improve that.
Yeah, I mean, there is nothing like practice. That's one thing. However, knowing what to practice is also important. I hope you got the idea what to practice now.
Yes, Ram. Yes, Ram. That is very useful. I understand like this session more or like abstract. I think maybe next sessions let's go a little bit like specific to teacher or specific to student or something like that.
Right.
Like when it comes to teacher, say He has to prepare some notes. He has to prepare some material. He has to prepare some question paper.
So what my suggestion is, I think most of the people who are on the call are somehow connected to us, either on the Telegram, or some people may have come from Facebook, whatever it is.
Yes,
Whatever
yes.
it is, go and give suggestions. Like,
Yeah, yeah, sure.
this is the particular kind of a writing I want to do. I'm doing my job. Can you
Okay,
help me? How exactly get better? Then what we will do is we'll take that essay,
sure.
one particular essay that they can provide. We can show how we can put through that through various kind of a ringer and make it better.
Yeah,
Right?
that's good.
And that in fact, this is the thing, right? We don't have, I mean, I as a reader have know nothing about the topic. It has, I'm not coming as a subject expert. I'm only coming as a rhetoric expert and only writing perspective, how to make it better, we can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. That if we take few exercises, if we do a few things, that actually, and thankfully we have, I mean, I will talk to Padmanja, that is Pami, later, and see how we can rope her into helping her in this one. Because that is, I mean, I am not a teacher per se, I'm only practitioner. And Pami, knowing, having taught many students, like, of varying degrees of capabilities, she'll be able to guide this process in a fashion that which gets to you best.
Definitely,
Yeah.
Rama. Thank
I
you.
just-
Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining our session. Okay.
Oh no,
It's a really,
absolutely happy to be here, and thank you. And I'm
Actually,
happy to
actually,
participate. Really,
actually,
That's it.
Pami, that this is what just as a preamble, just as a this
Mm,
thing. As
mm.
you know, I went to this residential school, and these are now the school has proven so successful. There were 3 schools. Now there are more than 200 schools, all supported by
Wonderful.
all of them mostly for students of lower socioeconomic background, rural students, and 50% of them are girls. And so that and one of the big challenges they almost all of them face is they say that is, compared to their urban counterparts, their ability with they are not so facile with the language. They are not good at, in their words, we are not good at English. That's what they say.
Oh, that is not what it's
Nothing to
about
do
at
with the
all.
English. That's nothing to do with English. I talk about the structured writing, structured reading. That's what we were focusing on. So for the last 6 months or so, every fortnight we have been conducting a session on various topics. And this time, a turn for this has come. A previous time, it actually won for, I mean, multiple different sessions have happened. And we actually also have been doing, for example, that is the debate competitions in schools, etc. And surprisingly, money is never the problem. Money is not the thing. Imagination is the problem. Identifying the problem is the problem, right? So most of the students are come from the rural areas, and most of them from that lower socioeconomic background problem. This time though, because I advertised on Facebook, there are a lot of other students also might have come, but usually it is there. And I was thinking that is, there is a way that is we can, even over the Zoom sessions, we can teach these people. And more importantly, some of the students here, they might be able to participate and help the students, hand hold them and to do the things. And like the quality of mercy, it blessed twice, those people that give and those people that take. That means the people who actually also teach these people, they might themselves benefit by asking themselves about the craft, firstly. Second is, in a very mundane sense, they might benefit from actually being able to write something positively on the college essays.
True.
Right?
True. I think it's about the writing voice. It's about having something urgent to say and then being able to give it a structure and a shape. So
right. For the students, right? For example, they be able to say that is, there is a non-profit organization. We work with the organization. We work with 10 students and help the 10 students in the writing and in speaking or whatever it is. They'll be able to put that in resume. The reason I'm saying that is I edit a lot of college essays, and suddenly they wake up one day and say, hey, I don't have anything interesting to say about what I did. All I got was grades, nothing else I can say. I think that is a lot of people, especially people of Indian origin, would be interested. Other people also would be interested, not a problem at all. And I think that way, that is the reason I'm saying it is, it has to be a practicing art. I think it has to be scalable, and we can't scale by doing ourselves. We have to give one-on-one training almost, and that one-on-one training that can be gotten from actually by actually hooking up students from here with the students from India. That is the thing. Think about it, and we can talk about it.
Definitely. Sure. Thank you so much, and bye for now. And
Yeah,
Ram, good to see you.
can I add one thing?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that will really help. Actually, I've seen in some Bangalore schools, they're doing that way, actually, like connecting to the people there and exchanging conversation each from India to other countries like that. I see this in Global Indian International School.
Exactly. That happens where the parents can pay 10 lakhs a year. We have to make it happen in our schools where.
True. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes,
guys.
Ram. Thank you so much,
very
Ram and Padmaja.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you, Rama.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to quit. That's about it, I think. Okay.
Yes. Ram.